Have you ever wondered what happens when a narcissist's shiny new supply loses its luster? What goes on behind the scenes when the person they once idolized suddenly becomes irrelevant, discarded like yesterday's news? If you've ever been curious about the inner workings of a narcissist's mind and the emotional roller coaster they subject others to, you're in the right place. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating, often heartbreaking dynamics of narcissistic relationships, exploring why the narcissist's new supply eventually gets washed up, and what really happens when the cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discard comes full circle. By the end of this article, you'll have a clearer understanding of the narcissist's patterns, the emotional toll it takes on their victims, and why this toxic cycle repeats itself over and over again. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's unravel this complex web together. If you find this discussion enlightening, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. It helps us reach more people who might be struggling with these very issues. Narcissists are masters of manipulation, and their relationships are often built on a foundation of control, power, and exploitation. When they first meet someone new, their new supply, they enter what is known as the idealization phase. During this stage, they shower their target with attention, compliments, and affection, making them feel like the most special person in the world. This behavior is intoxicating by design, as the narcissist uses charm and flattery to create an emotional bond that feels unbreakable. However, this phase is merely a facade, a mask worn to lure their prey into a false sense of security. Once the narcissist has successfully hooked their target, the real manipulation begins, and the relationship takes a darker turn. As the relationship progresses, the narcissist's true intentions start to surface. The once frequent compliments and affection gradually diminish, replaced by subtle criticisms and backhanded remarks. They may begin to gaslight their partner, causing them to doubt their own perceptions and memories. This marks the beginning of the devaluation phase, where the narcissist starts to chip away at their partner's self-esteem. The person who was once idealized and placed on a pedestal is now systematically torn down. This behavior is deliberate, as the narcissist thrives on the power and control they gain from creating emotional turmoil. Watching their partner struggle to regain their approval provides the narcissist with a perverse sense of satisfaction. The shift from idealization to devaluation raises an important question. Why does the narcissist's new supply eventually lose their appeal? The answer lies in the narcissist's insatiable need for validation. Narcissists have a fragile sense of self and rely heavily on external sources to boost their ego. When they first meet someone new, that person represents a fresh source of admiration and attention, which the narcissist craves intensely. However, over time, the novelty of the relationship fades. The new supply becomes familiar and predictable, and the narcissist begins to take them for granted. As a result, the once constant stream of validation dwindles, leaving the narcissist unsatisfied and eager to seek out new sources of admiration. When the narcissist no longer feels the same level of excitement or validation from their current partner, they begin to look elsewhere. This is when the discard phase often occurs. The narcissist may abruptly end the relationship or gradually withdraw their attention, leaving their partner confused and emotionally devastated. The discard phase is particularly painful for the partner, as they are often left grappling with feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Meanwhile, the narcissist moves on to their next target, repeating the cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discard with someone new. This pattern is a hallmark of narcissistic relationships and highlights the emotional toll they take on those involved. For the narcissist's former partner, recovering from such a relationship can be incredibly challenging. The emotional manipulation and gaslighting can leave lasting scars, making it difficult to trust others or rebuild self-esteem. Many survivors of narcissistic relationships struggle with feelings of worthlessness and confusion as they try to make sense of what happened. However, with time, support, and self-reflection, it is possible to heal and move forward. Recognizing the narcissist's tactics and understanding that the relationship was built on manipulation rather than genuine connection can be a crucial step in the recovery process. In conclusion, narcissistic relationships follow a predictable pattern of idealization, devaluation, and discard. The narcissist's need for constant validation drives this cycle, as they seek out new sources of admiration and discard those who no longer serve their ego. For the narcissist's partners, these relationships can be emotionally devastating, leaving them to pick up the pieces long after the relationship has ended. However, by understanding the dynamics at play and seeking support, survivors can begin to heal and rebuild their lives, free from the toxic influence of the narcissist. This is where the discard phase comes in. Once the narcissist has drained their current supply of all the admiration and attention they can provide, they begin to lose interest. They might start to distance themselves, becoming cold and indifferent. They might even start to triangulate, bringing a new person into the picture to make their current supply feel insecure and replaceable. This is a deliberate tactic, designed to keep their supply off balance and desperate for their approval. And when the narcissist finally discards their supply, it's often done with a callousness that's hard to comprehend. They might ghost them, blame them for the relationship's failure, or even smear their reputation to others. The goal is to leave their supply feeling worthless and broken, so they're less likely to fight back or expose the narcissist's true nature. But what happens to the narcissist's new supply after they've been discarded? For many, it's a devastating experience. They're left grappling with feelings of confusion, betrayal, and self-doubt. They might struggle to understand what went wrong, blaming themselves for the relationship's failure. And because the narcissist has likely isolated them from friends and family, they might feel completely alone in their pain. This is why it's so important for victims of narcissistic abuse to seek support, whether it's from a therapist, a support group, or trusted loved ones. Healing from narcissistic abuse is a journey, and it's one that takes time, patience, and self-compassion. Interestingly, the narcissist's new supply isn't the only one who suffers when the relationship ends. The narcissists themselves often experience a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction. No matter how many people they cycle through, they're never truly fulfilled. Their need for validation is bottomless, and no amount of attention or admiration can ever fill the void inside them. This is why they're constantly on the lookout for new supply. They're chasing a high that they can never sustain. And while they might appear confident and self-assured on the surface, deep down, they're deeply insecure and unhappy. So, what can we learn from all of this? For one, it's a stark reminder of the importance of self-worth and boundaries. If you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, it's crucial to recognize that their behavior was never about you. It was about their own insecurities and need for control. You are not the problem, and you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. It's also a reminder to trust your instincts. If something feels off in a relationship, don't ignore those red flags. Narcissists are skilled at masking their true intentions, but if you pay close attention, you'll often see the warning signs early on. For those who are currently in a relationship with a narcissist, it's important to remember that you have the power to walk away. It might not be easy, especially if the narcissist has eroded your self-esteem, but it's necessary for your emotional well-being. Surround yourself with supportive people who can help you through the process, and consider seeking professional help to navigate the complexities of leaving a toxic relationship. Remember, you are not alone, and there is hope for a brighter future. As we wrap up this discussion, I want to thank you for taking the time to explore this important topic with me. Narcissistic abuse is a deeply painful experience, but by shedding light on it, we can help others recognize the signs and take steps to protect themselves. Please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing it with others who might benefit from this information. Together, we can raise awareness and support those who are healing from narcissistic abuse. Thank you for being here, and remember, you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness.